Hey everybody, welcome back to the Complete Game. I'm your host Kurt Schilling, and this young man is my young oldest son, Garrick.
What's going on, everybody? How we doing? Doing all right. Doing all right. I did want to start off today with a quick little tee up for you though on a story time because I was watching the Sox game before I came in there in a rain delay, and it reminded me of one of my favorite stories of all time. And maybe it comes right to mind, but the Miami rain delay with paintball.
All right, well that was a rain out.
Rain out. Okay, rain delay, rain out.
Right.
But I think it's about time,
Okay.
36 episodes in, that we need some story time, and
Okay.
that is an all time.
So, 1998 season, end of the year, we had a four-game series in Florida to play the Marlins. Uh, there was a hurricane warning. It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday series. The Thursday, Friday games were canceled. We got in Thursday night. And we decided that the safest place to be in Florida was the stadium. So on Friday, not the whole team, we took about 15 guys and we bought a grill and we bought steaks. And I went to a local paintball store and bought like $2,000 worth of gear, camo, guns, about a billion paintballs, all pastel colors. And we decided we were going to go to hang out. We were going to sleep over at Joe Robbie.
What, and this is while you're on the Phillies in the late 90s, right?
Late 90s,
Correct?
right? Scott Rowland, Paul Byrd. Yeah. So we decide that we're going to go and sleep at the stadium and we're going to play paintball. So we show up and like I said, we had 100,000 bullets of ammunition, paintball, all pastel colors, water soluble, full camo, high-end guns, face masks, all of it. And now Thursday, Friday are canceled, so we're playing a doubleheader Saturday and Sunday. And I'm pitching on Saturday, and I'm at 293 strikeouts on the year. And not only that, but and I'd struck out 300 the year before, so I'm going for back-to-back seasons. Scott Rowland's on the team, rookie of the year, whatever, a bunch of other guys. So we get there at like I want to say we got there early afternoon, and the clubhouse guy was panicking, like he was like terrified. So what they had done is they had put all of the field tractors on the field on top of the tarp, and the tarp covered the infield. And we waited till the sun went down. And like I said, water soluble, so it's gonna hurricane, it's gonna wash away. So we end up playing paintball from like 7 o'clock at night till 2 or 3 in the morning. Couple of incidents. The first game we played was everybody got behind, two guys behind each tractor on the infield. We put a jersey on the pitcher's mound, and we called out a name, and that guy had to run and pick up the jersey and get back to his cart while we shot him. First guy was Scott Rowland, and we pelted him with like 100 paintballs. Um, and then we played like somebody went and hid $100 bill in one of the bathrooms, somebody that wasn't playing, and both teams had to hunt it out. We were jumping all over the stadium. We were going over concession stands. I know we knocked over like the soda, the bottle, the gas for the sodas, carbonated stuff. And we just painted the inside of Joe Robbie Stadium. This is when Joe Robbie was the football stadium, and the upper deck was all covered. About halfway through the game, we're playing like seek and find. Paul Byrd and Scott Rowland are up in the upper deck. And apparently, Paul Byrd scared Scott Rowland, and he rolled off the edge of the upper deck and was literally hanging at the top of Joe Robbie Stadium. Would have been dead. Scott Rowland dying. Lead story ESPN, third baseman dies. Um, but obviously he didn't.
Just an all-time butterfly effect moment.
Right, right. And then later, so yeah, in the old Joe Robbie Stadium, when you went into the bullpen, and again, it was built for football, you went down a set of stairs, walked flat, and then you went up a set of stairs in the bullpen. Again, I'm pitching Saturday. I'm walking down the stairs and I forget the last step and I blow my ankle. Like literally thought I broke it. I'm laying on the ground grabbing my ankle, like, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how do I, what am I
How am I going to
possibly?
explain this?
Right, there's no explanation. So, and obviously I didn't break it. We go through again, paint everywhere in the stadium, waiting for the hurricane. Hurricane never hits. Not one drop of water on Joe Robbie Stadium. And my two biggest memories coming away from that were we left and went back to the hotel late at like 4 in the morning, and we left Paul Byrd sleeping inside the ceiling of the clubhouse. And we show up the next day, and I'll never forget. I walk in the clubhouse, Kevin Sefcik, who, by the way, was playing paintball. I walk in the clubhouse, and he walks up to me and he goes, "Oh my God, you guys are in so much trouble." And I'm like, what do you mean, you guys? Like, dude, you were there with us. Yeah, but I left. It was like, what? But it was an all-timer. It was one of the funnest moments of my night. So fast forward the next day, Scott didn't die. I ended up striking out exactly 7 guys. I got Kevin Ory for my 7th strikeout and 300 on the year. Um, and that was the end of the 1998 season. I went 15 and 14. I threw 15 complete games, and we were horrible. But that was the paintball war at Joe Robbie Stadium. Not a drop of water. It looked like for all you old timers, if you remember the Partridge Family TV show, the inside of Joe Robbie Stadium looked like the Partridge Family bus. Pastel, pink, yellow, orange paints, green, all over the inside of the stadium. So yeah,
I wanted to tee you up just because like people don't understand and like that's the type of stuff that I'm hoping to get out of you on this show and why we're doing this, because eventually sitting down and recording enough of us talking is
right.
we're gonna come across stories like that, and especially if you guys out there subscribe and ask questions
Yeah.
and comment on the videos, because we're looking at all of them. There's so many that come to mind, but yeah, we'll start to trickle them out too. Also,
The idea, the germination of that idea came in 1990 when I got sent down to AAA Tucson with the Astros. We went to Portland on a road trip. And we had an off day, and I went out and bought paintball, and we went to a paintball field, and I rented the place, and we played all day. And the reason it was so awesome, Brent Strom, who's a big league pitching coach, a great one. He was our pitching coach back then. We had a guy named Gary Cooper who played third base. We were standing like across the field from each other, and we hadn't started yet. And the guy's like giving us all the rules. And all of a sudden, you hear a paintball go off, and it hits Brent Strom right in the testicle, and he just collapses, and the whole place just starts laughing. Like, and we ended up playing all day. Had a great day. The guys had a great day, and then
it's one of those things that if that happened in today's day and age, it'd be all over social media, super viral. Like, look at how much fun these guys have
it would be
together.
that. Who was the Steelers receiver that lived with those gamers? You know what I'm talking about.
The Chiefs. He's on the Chiefs. He won the Super Bowl with the Chiefs. Help me. 3 names. Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yes.
There we go.
There would have been GoPros everywhere. Guys would, I mean, it would have been, or they would have gotten in huge amounts of trouble.
Either way, it would have been a huge story, and it's
right.
something that people have probably never heard before, even if they've followed you for a while. Because I've heard that story 50 times being your kid, but it's just if nobody's heard that, I wanted it to be told on the podcast before we get into the NL All-Star team and the controversy in Arizona.
Right. So I didn't know this. Gary got me onto it, and he'll link to it, the video. But apparently, for 4 consecutive years, the same fan in Arizona
in the left field bleachers,
in the left center field, has been in the middle of 4 controversial balls, home run, double kind of things.
Two and two, a home run and a double each, but both the home runs have gone to the Diamondbacks, while both doubles have gone to the Oviz.
And I'm speaking directly to you as a fan. I'm assuming based on what you're wearing, and you're an Arizona Diamondback fan. The last one, which I assume just happened, right? I mean,
4 years in the same seats. I think you can assume he's an Arizona Diamondbacks
fan. Right. But I didn't check who they were playing either. But also, the 4th one just happened. Yes,
yesterday.
So you're a Diamondback fan. What the F are you doing, screwing your own team by reaching over the fence? First off, don't. I mean, if you've learned nothing, there's balls you reach over for, and there are balls you don't reach over for. 3-play, it's not really a big thing anymore because they'll be able to tell. But if you're going to reach over and interfere, don't screw your own team. Come on, you got to be better than that.
I'll also just add my 2 cents on I think there's a certain age where bringing your glove to the game, like unless you're with your kid
Right,
and
right.
and it's like,
It's
hey, we're
not
both bringing our
51.
gloves to the game.
It's not
If you're
50.
going with your buddies and you're a bring your gloves to the game guy, that's a tough look,
Right.
especially when you're doing the what's the Chicago Bart Scott, the getting involved in the play,
Oh, yeah, no.
Chicago guy.
Right.
Bart Scott, is that not right?
No, 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 no,
What
no.
is that from? What
No,
am I thinking
that
about?
that I'm thinking like Jeffrey Mayer, the kid who in the Yankee Oriole
Oriole, yeah.
game.
The
Um,
guy, the
the
guy
guy who like
last
literally
year,
got in front of Moises Alou, and it was a huge deal,
yeah, the
and
one.
like was banned, like he was ostracized.
The Italian guys last year with Mookie in the was
Right,
that in the World Series
right, yeah,
that like ripped it out of his glove. So
yeah. There's but now with replay, none of that is a thing anymore.
yeah,
And you'll find his name, but yeah, I cannot remember what his name was,
I'll
but
find it.
yeah, but yeah, if you're a home fan, I get it, but you have to be a home fan. You can't screw your own team when you reach on the field to get a ball.
Steve Bartman,
Steve Bartman.
Bart Scott, close.
Yeah, yeah, somewhere in there. That was our two name game right there. Steve
Yeah, yeah.
Bart, yeah. Um, you don't reach on the field. Don't do it. Draft's coming up, by the way, guys, and I want to tell you, I just saw a couple different pieces, and I'm telling you right now, I looked at the latest quote unquote mock draft by the experts. There are two pitchers right now predicted to go one very high. Excuse me. I'm not going to name names because this is the greatest experience for these kids ever. And I don't want the people that have reached out to me to advise about the draft and watch video. I wouldn't draft these two kids with the other team's pick. I just think that physically they're physically it's going to be impossible for these guys to remain healthy. Not just maybe through the minor leagues, but definitely in the big leagues. Couple deliveries that just terrify me, who I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. And they're going to get drafted in the first round. One's going to go, both of them will probably go top 20. One will go very high. And that I hate to see that because it clearly tells me again that these scouts are looking at the gun and really have no idea what they're looking at from a delivery perspective. But it's coming up. And there's a really good article about Willits and Holiday, two sons of major leaguers. By the way, Matt Holiday is one of the I've read some stuff from him about the swing. He's probably one of the premier guys for as a hitting coach, which I mean, obviously it's come to fruition with both of his kids possibly being number ones. But guy didn't I wasn't a big fan of facing because he didn't swing and miss a lot. All-Star game. We talked about the AL finalists. We're going to go through the NL finalists, and we're going to start behind the dish. Will Smith and Carson Kelly at catcher. And
Wait, quick note
go ahead.
before we go through the entire roster. We might have mentioned it last show, but this would be the first team with 8 representatives from one team since the 2001
The
Mariners.
NL All-Star team.
The NL All-Star team with 8 Dodgers. And also very cool, like led by an international superstar from Japan
Right.
at both of them.
Right.
So,
Well,
cool little theme.
So Smith and Carson Kelly. Carson Kelly, nobody had on their radar. Gonna mention that I did pick him up as a free agent for my fantasy team. Having a very good year. His average is down. But he's a 10-year vet who's been a part-time guy. Went 8 times in his first 20 games. Slowed down a little bit, but having a good year and deserves to be there. By the way, the Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani are the only two players to receive more votes than Will Smith of the Dodgers.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Do you know why that is?
Yeah, because the Dodgers surpassed 2 or 3 million quicker than anybody ever. And All-Star, there's at the field balloting and online balloting. Their fans are clearly, which is why you're seeing so many players. But it's deserved. He's I did not know that. He's leading the NL with a 330 average. I didn't know that. Last time that happened with an OBP, he had 425 on base percentage. Last time somebody had one that high was Hall of Famer Joe Mauer in 2009 at 444. First base might be one of my two favorite players in all of baseball, Freddie Freeman and Pete Alonso, who you've heard me talk about, Pete, all year long.
I mean, both these guys are awesome. Just great.
Yep.
2 great guys for baseball.
The next big thing in Major League Baseball is going to be players being mic'd up. That's going to be the next big social media thing.
I mean, Freddie Freeman has my favorite one of all time.
The spring training when he was mic'd up was
With
hilarious.
Chipper in the box,
Yes.
talking trash in his
Yep.
ear.
Yep. And then he's
Watch
just
this. It's gonna pick up. There's wind.
yes.
I'm coming.
Yeah. 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 If you haven't
Train's on
seen
the tracks.
Garrett will link that.
Yeah.
All right, you got to see that. There's some great
I
ones.
might. Yeah. I mean,
But
that's.
he's a clearly a phenomenal guy. And he's a guy I root for every day. He's a Hall of Famer. The other guy, I've talked about him all year. I have never seen, I'm sorry. I rarely have ever seen a guy this far into his career make an adjustment so significant. Pete Alonso has done amazing. He's hitting 286, but his on base percentage is upper 300s, almost 400. He's on pace to hit 36 homers, but kudos. I can't explain to you how hard it is to do what he's done. All I'll say is that he's done it, and it's pretty amazing. Both those guys deserve to be there. Both those guys probably deserve to be on the field. Second base, probably more defense and offense for Tommy Edman of the Dodgers. Again, everybody that goes, I'm happy for him. Ketel Marte, I don't know what to say other than he's way. I thought he was good. I didn't realize he was this good. He's legit, like monster talent. Went through a recent incident that was just ridiculous, but got a fan banned for life. God bless him. I'm glad. He has a So Otani, Judge, and Raleigh lead the major leagues in OPS. Ketel Marte's fourth with a 1024 with 15 homers. 308, 408, 616 as of the writing of this article. An all-star in every sense of the word. Pretty amazing.
He's just been on an absolute tear since that World Series
Well,
run.
I haven't noticed that again. I'm playing fantasy baseball this year for the multiple times in multiple leagues for the first time, just so I can keep on top of the game. And I have some notifications, and it seems like every Diamondback game it says Ketel Marte 2 for 4, homer, double, 2 runs, stolen base.
Yeah.
Ketel Marte 3 for 6.
He does everything.
He's killing pitching. Third base, Manny Machado, who's on pace for 184 hits, would be the most in 7 years with him. He will be the fifth active player after 9 more hits to have 2,000, joining Freeman, Altuve, Goldschmidt, and McCutcheon. Last guy to here's a trivia question for you. The last player to reach that number with the Padres was 2006. Hall of Famer.
What's the number?
The last player to reach 2,000 hits with the San Diego
2000.
Padres is a Hall of Famer, but I would bet if you guess what team this guy is remembered for, the Padres would be probably the last team on earth.
So you're saying he just played for the Padres?
West.
All right, come back to me.
Got his 2000s hit with the Padres.
Come back to me.
Okay. Muncy looking for his third All-Star game, and by the way, has picked it up huge. His OPS went from 530 to 820 over the last couple months. 12 homers, 48 games, more walks and strikeouts. Max Muncy is the guy anyway. Mike Piazza. Garrett.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was trying to think
I
when you said it, I was like, oh, but he didn't play
Never.
for the Padres, so
Never
that's not
forgot.
who you're talking about.
Um,
Yeah, I never would have got that. I was thinking
No,
infield and
no.
outfield the whole time.
Shortstop. Two guys that probably will. I'm comfortable to say right now they'll be Hall of Famers as long as they stay healthy. Both should be probably on the field to begin the game. Francisco Lindor and Mookie Betts. How about this?
I know that this is one of your gripes, but I will say just one guy I would have loved to see is Ellie De La Cruz.
Yeah,
That's my one gripe.
there's always during my generation.
There is always
Here,
one.
it was first base. You had monstrous talent at first base.
But shortstop's not really that deep, and both these guys are having, not their caliber of year. So if it was gonna be a year, I would have loved to have seen it.
Yeah, and Ellie will be there.
He'll be there too.
yeah.
So it would have been.
But listen to this.
Right.
Francisco Lindor has been the best shortstop in MLB and the fifth best player in MLB since 2020. Has not been chosen for an All-Star game.
That's what I'm saying.
Crazy.
But that's
Right.
we were talking about the other day, like guys we'd love to see in the home run derby. He's like 1-1, 1-2 in
Right.
my guys that
Oh,
haven't
and
participated yet.
little fantasy mention, my first round pick on one of my teams. Has a shot to be 30-30 for the second time in 3 years. Mookie, you know what? I'm okay. He's not doing Mookie things right now. 253, 333, 388. By the way, those numbers will be a lot better at the end of the year. Mookie Betts is Mookie Betts, and greatness always finds a way.
That's
Um,
what I mean. It's just the caliber to this point isn't their typical number. So that's why I'm
right.
saying if it were
Here's the
here.
beauty, right? A premier right fielder for the bulk of his career. Betts has made the move to full-time shortstop at
Yeah.
32 years old. He's 5 outs above average at shortstop. And by the way, I've seen him bowl multiple 300 games. He's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, again, Mookie's like maybe my favorite player in the MLB.
Oh,
Like the reason I solely
quick
stopped
side
rooting
story.
for the Red Sox when we moved.
Story in Boston. One of the reasons why it was such another crime that they traded him. But no, I'm not on the same level as Devers. Mookie was way worse. That was a way worse
Way
deal.
worse.
A writer ran into him in the offseason. And where did he run into him? At a homeless shelter serving food
Yep.
without media, without a PR person. That's who Mookie Betts is. Outfield, and holy crap, this is where I always have fun with the All-Star games. The outfields are usually just ridiculous,
Yeah,
right?
ridiculous.
Pete Crow Armstrong, who I think could make an argument might be the most physically gifted position player in the big leagues right now, offensive player.
Yeah.
Pete Crow Armstrong, Kyle Tucker from the Cubs, Teoscar Hernandez, Acuna Jr., Andy Pages of the Dodgers, Juan Soto. Again, the Dodgers, and remember something, and I'm okay with this. I realized this later in my career. The All-Star games for the fans. So those guys. Acuna um, is in the home run derby in front of his home fans, and he's having uh, I mean, well, he's having an Acuna year. He came back.
Oh, yeah, he's a
Well, it was funny because in the fantasy draft, it was when do you take that gamble? He's going to miss all of April, and it usually takes him a month back. He literally homered in his first at bat. He's been raking ever since. I don't care who makes it, other than I need to be positive and see Peter Crow Armstrong on the field for the first pitch. Um,
So out of those guys, who would be your starting three outfielders for the NL?
uh,
You're the manager.
Probably Soto, Acuna, and PCA.
Okay, that's what I had picked.
Yeah,
I just voted all on here
yeah,
because that's being finalized tomorrow. So
yeah. Yeah, and we'll talk about that Sunday.
my,
Um, Sox and the Reds are in a rain delay in the fourth. Boston up 2-1. Pittsburgh is up 1-0 on the Cardinals in the ninth on a
Skeens started,
Skeens went
punched out
5.
5 or 6.
Yeah, yeah, 5 innings.
DeGrom's currently up 3-2.
Yeah, you just can't complain about wins and losses when you're going 5. I
Yeah.
know that sounds weird, but the fact of the matter is, if you're not in the game in the seventh inning as a starting pitcher, you can't bitch about you leave in the sixth or earlier, you leave a third of the game. And I don't know, 88 pitches to get through 5 scoreless.
Yeah, that's. I was gonna say
Yeah.
I peeked in. I was when I was watching the Red Sox game. I peeked over at this when it was in the bottom frame of the fifth,
And
and I would kill to go back and look at like
there's
what
a
is the decision there?
there's
It's a
a
0-0
thing
game.
that happens in the game that
How do you get taken out?
well, here's the thing. I always noticed it because I was early in my career, I was never that guy. But there are guys who will get an opponent's pitching the best game of his season. Palente for the Cardinals, 7 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, 3 punch outs. Now the Pirate offense is the Pirate offense, but every time Paul Skeens goes out there, he would be a guy that I'm like, oh, I got Skeens. Like you got to pony up,
Yeah.
right? And for me, it was guys. I did that. I was always like that with guys like Maddox and RJ. I never really faced RJ, but like Pedro, I was bringing everything I had because the winning run was at the plate to lead off the game in my mind. That's what makes, if you go back to McGuire and Sosa and the and that home run derby thing, the more amazing thing about their home run totals over those years was Mark McGuire got my best every single at bat. Didn't matter what the score was. Every pitcher that faced him was facing him with the game on the line, most important at bat of the year kind of thing. And when you're doing things like that, that's what you get. And that's to me what makes those things even more marvelous. So
I didn't know you were I accidentally saw this today that you were a top three against like Barry's top three pitcher ever faced. Did you know that?
oh, at bats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plate appearances.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah,
you
I
guys.
faced him a
I
ton.
knew you faced each other a ton, obviously being in the NL West, but
He
I
only
didn't
had
know.
9 homers off me.
I figured it would be only nine. You only had to walk him 19 times. I'm
Right.
sure that accounted for a quarter of your career walks at
Right.
one point.
Yeah.
You want to do place to
Yeah.
guess your teammate?
Guess the teammate.
All right. By the way, it is second and third for the Cardinals in the top of the ninth, and that 1-0 Pirates lead looks like it's thinning. So
Yeah. Well,
even if he did go seven, it's just a tough team to be on. All right. Guess your teammate. We got 5 clues ranging from vague to most obvious, starting with the most vague clue. So former teammate of my dad's. A 16-year MLB career. I played for 4 MLB franchises, 2 of which we have in common.
$16 years.
I will add a bonus. I didn't realize it was 16 years. I would have guessed 10 or 12
Right.
for this guy, personally.
16-year, 2 in
Four,
common.
4
So
franchises,
Orioles, Astros,
2 in common.
Phillies, Diamondbacks, Red Sox. Next clue.
I was a World Series champion with you on the Red Sox, despite struggles in the postseason throughout my career.
For my first thought is Randy Johnson.
Nope. Over 1,500 punch outs over my 16 years. The only accolade I can boast above you is that I have a gold glove.
Wait, back up. Read that again. Why I said Randy Johnson? He won with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
With me. That's stupid. All right, go ahead.
All right.
Read that one again.
So this is the next clue. You want the last clue or
This last clue you just gave me.
Okay.
'Cause I
Over
think I have it.
1,500 punch outs over my 16 years. The only accolade I can boast above you is that I have a gold glove.
Brian Anderson.
Nope.
What?
We have both had multiple no-hit bids broken up in the 8th inning or later. This is going great. This is exactly how I wanted this to go.
This is killing me because
Because this next one will kill you.
I'm mad because
You thought you had it on
Right.
that last one.
the Gold Glove thing I would have remembered. Like that was a big award to me.
Only one though, so it could have,
Right, but I can't. Starting pitcher with a Gold Glove.
16-year MLB career, 4 MLB franchises, won a World Series with you on the Red Sox, has over 1,500 career strikeouts and a gold glove. And multiple no-hit bids broken up in the 8th inning or later.
We shared 2 teams.
2 teams. Not on at the same time.
Right,
but
right,
you
right,
have
right.
2 in common.
David Wells?
Nope.
God dang it.
I have one more accolade that I can say I have that you do not. I have hit 6 career home runs, all coming with the Cincinnati Reds. This one's gonna hurt.
Oh my God. All right, hold on. He's a pitcher.
Yep.
He played for the Reds.
I would say if you don't remember him on the Red Sox, you remember him on the Reds. Would you like the other team he spent 1 year with that you have in
He
common?
won a Gold Glove, and he won the World Series in 07 with me.
I didn't say the year. I just said he won the World
oh.
Series with you on the Red Sox. Postseason struggles. 6 career home runs for a pitcher. Who's a pitcher that hit home runs?
Oh, fucking way. It's Bronson Arroyo.
Bronson Arroyo.
He had 6 career homers?
All at the Reds. So
Oh
that's
my
like 10
God.
years into his career, he had 6 career home runs.
By the way,
Isn't that crazy?
well,
He had 3 in 1 year.
so I absolutely loved this guy, but I was like, there's no way he's going to have a long career. Never iced his arm,
16 years.
but it wasn't just 16 years. He was 200 innings every year. And
Yeah, he pitched.
literally a professional musician, like legit, like recorded. He has albums out, like, and the nicest guy, just, and what an athlete.
Yeah,
Obviously. I didn't know he won a gold glove.
2010.
Really?
Yep.
With the Reds.
With the Reds.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had like a real
Dude, he was legit.
blossoming late part of his career.
They got him from the Pirates, and it was like, okay. But like, if you go back and look at '04, what a monstrous part of that whole thing he was. And then, they kind of dicked him. They signed him to a contract way under market value and turn around and trade him to the Reds. He loved Boston.
Yeah.
He was devastated.
That was very clear, like
he was devastated
even for a young
got
kid.
traded.
But yeah, just a
What a great
shocking like career to look. Again, I'm some of these I'm shocked when I look at like 16 years. You know the other team you guys had in common that he played for? He played one year with the Diamondbacks at the end of his career.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that.
That's what he finished with. That's like
we're over 800 subscribers.
That's like That's like the Piazza Padres thing though. I would never know.
Right. Yeah. I can't see him in a Padres uniform.
Yeah, over 800
It's
subs.
Like in a Padres uniform.
Over 800 subs and loving the comments.
Like, spread it around. We'll be back Sunday with the All-Star teams. Or Friday.
Keep the comments and questions coming, please.
There's a good comment we'll get to on the thread this time, but we taught our Skeens holiday trade.
Yep.
We'll get to that on Friday. You guys have a great week. Happy 4th of July. God bless.